It was snowing the morning everything changed. That kind of dry, quiet snow that makes even a city like Boston feel muffled and surreal. I was already late for a red-eye to San Francisco, standing outside the black Range Rover parked at the base of my high-rise, headset in one ear, coffee in one hand, yelling about server load issues on a call with my CTO. That's when I saw him, a kid, probably 9, sitting on the curb right beside the revolving glass doors. He was thin, shivering, wearing a faded red hoodie and jeans 2 sizes too short. One of his shoes was duct-taped. His head was bowed until he heard my voice. Then he stood, slowly, deliberately, and walked toward me. I didn't recognize him, not at first, but something about the way he moved, stiff but proud, like he was holding himself together by will alone, gave me pause. "You're Mr. Halston?" he asked, voice small but firm. I nodded, annoyed, glancing at the SUV. The driver looked up, unsure whether to intervene. "My mom worked for you, at that big white building with all the glass. She used to clean the bathrooms." I was about to dismiss him when he said, "She died last night. Before she did, she told me to find you." Now I froze. The wind cut across the street, scattering a flurry of snow between us. She said, "You used to know right from wrong before you got rich." I didn't move. She said, "You gave her a coffee once, smiled at her like she mattered. She never forgot that." That's the moment everything cracked. Her name surfaced a second later, Lana Gomez. Quiet woman, 3 kids, never caused trouble, worked for the cleaning contractor in our Cambridge office years ago. I remembered her, barely. The coffee thing sounded like something I'd have done a decade ago, back before I IPO'd, before boardrooms and quarterly earnings calls defined my life. "Where are your siblings?" I asked. His chin trembled just once. "Just me and her now." He turned, pointing at a figure slumped near a concrete planter. His little sister, maybe 5, wrapped in a filthy blanket. She clutched a limp teddy bear, missing one eye. I looked at my phone, then at the snow, then at the 2 kids who had no one in the world. And I made a decision that surprised even me. I canceled the flight, turned off my phone, and took them up to the 42nd floor of my downtown building. Not exactly designed for kids, but it had a private executive suite with a couch, full bath, and more amenities than most apartments. The girl, her name was Maya, wouldn't speak. She just clung to her brother, eyes wide and haunted. The boy said his name was Tyler. He didn't ask for money or shelter. He just kept saying, "We didn't know where else to go." I called my lawyer, my assistant, sent someone for food and warm clothes, but nothing felt like enough. When the food came, grilled cheese, soup, juice, I expected them to devour it, but Tyler gave Maya the first bowl. She whispered, "Thank you, Ty," before sipping like it was holy water. My chest ached. I hadn't felt anything that sharp in years. I tried to ask about other family. There was no one. No dad, no aunts, no papers, no ID, just the vague recollection that their mom had mentioned me once as someone who used to be kind. Why me? That night I didn't sleep. I just sat outside the suite on the hallway bench watching the security feed on my iPad. I was worth nearly $700 million, and somehow I'd never felt so powerless. The system didn't make it easy. I called Child Protective Services the next morning. Cold bureaucracy, endless forms, a caseworker named Marla who sounded exhausted. "They need to be placed in foster care immediately," she said. "It's protocol." "I can give them a place, warmth, safety." "You're not family." "I have lawyers." She sighed. "That won't make you a father." That hurt more than it should have. Still, I filed for emergency guardianship. I called Nora, my most ruthless attorney, and told her to drop her merger case and help me fight for these kids. She didn't argue. She'd known me before the IPO, before I built Houston AI. Tyler and Maya were placed in a temporary shelter. The worst part, I couldn't stop it. I wasn't family. I had no rights. But I stayed outside that shelter every night, watching, waiting, protecting, just in case someone like Lana's ex came back. That someone did. His name was Denny Rowles, a name that stank of violence. He wasn't Maya's father, but claimed to be. Said he used to live with Lana off and on, had jail time, battery charges, drug possession. He showed up at my office, greasy and twitching, asking for compensation. Said if I didn't pay, he'd go to the press and CPS, try to claim the kids legally. "You think they're yours now?" he said, sneering. "Kids like that, they'll never stay loyal. Just wait till they see who feeds them longest." I had him escorted out and immediately filed a restraining order. Nora worked overtime, but I knew it wasn't over. Tyler had started calling me Mr. H. Not Dad, not even Ben. Just that. Mr. H. I earned his trust slowly. A breakfast here, a game of chess there. Maya began drawing again. Always stars, always with 3 figures beneath them. Me, her, and Ty. I started telling her stories about constellations, about how sailors used stars to find their way home. "You can always look up when things feel lost," I said. "Do you ever get lost?" she asked. "All the time," I said. The breakthrough came wrapped in something ordinary. A manila folder delivered by Nora late one evening. I was in my office, Maya asleep in the guest chair, wrapped in a fleece blanket. Tyler sat on the floor leaning against the wall, flipping through a book on black holes. "This might change everything," Nora said, dropping the folder on my desk. Inside, hospital records, birth certificates, DNA reports, old CPS filings. Lana had filed for sole custody of both kids years ago. But one document stood out, a notarized affidavit from Lana herself, dated just 6 months before her death. It said Tyler had no biological father listed. She never named one. And Maya's birth certificate listed a man named Ezra Navarro, a man who, according to a background check, had died in a car accident 2 years ago. "Denny has no legal claim," Nora said. "Zero." "But he doesn't know that yet," I said. She nodded. "We can fight him off, but there's more, isn't there?" She hesitated, then pulled another paper from the folder. It was a handwritten letter, not to me, but to someone named Daniel Ross. "I know I shouldn't have told you about Maya earlier, but I was scared. You were just starting your life over. Please don't hate me, I just wanted to keep her safe. At the bottom, if anything happens to me, find her. Tell her about the sky. Tell her she has your eyes." We found Daniel Ross in Vermont. Lived in a cabin, worked as a mechanic, hadn't had a phone in 3 years. But he answered the door when we knocked. I brought Maya and Tyler with me. I didn't plan to, but something told me the truth needed witnesses. He was in his 40s, quiet, bearded, and when he saw Maya, he stopped breathing. She looked up at him with those wide brown eyes. His eyes. He didn't hug her, didn't cry. Just knelt down trembling and said, "I used to watch the stars with your mama. She said they were the only thing bigger than her fears." Maya blinked. She said stars meant we're never really alone. That night, Daniel and I sat by a dying fire while the kids slept in the guest room. He told me the truth. He'd loved Lana, but he was young, reckless, and scared when she got pregnant. He ran, tried to forget. She never told me for sure, but when I read her letter last year, I knew. I just didn't know how to find her. And now I'm too late. "You're not," I said. He looked up, hopeful. "You think she'll let me be part of her life?" "She's 5. She doesn't know what that means yet. But if you want to help raise her, help her heal, you'd better be ready to earn it." He nodded. We agreed on something unexpected. We'd raise her together. Me, Daniel, and Tyler, who never left her side. I'd be the one in the city, giving her structure, school, safety. Daniel would be the quiet gravity pulling her back to earth, teaching her how to change a tire, swing a hammer, name constellations. The court approved everything 3 months later.
A year passed. Tyler started school, top of his class. Maya drew a mural on my office wall, with permission. It showed the three of us standing on a rooftop, hands outstretched toward a sky full of stars. One afternoon, I stepped into the elevator in my building, the same elevator where I'd once brushed past dozens of people I didn't have time for, and found Tyler inside. He was holding a book. "Mr. H," he said, "can I ask something?" "Always." "Do you think my mom would be proud of me?" The question hit harder than I expected. "She'd be proud of how you protect your sister," I said, "of how you still believe in good people." He didn't respond, just nodded, eyes shining. Then, "Do you remember what she said to me about you?" I nodded. "She said you used to know right from wrong." "Yeah," I said. "She did." "Do you now?" I looked down at him. No smirk, no fear. Just the unfiltered honesty of a kid who'd lived through too much too soon. "I think I'm starting to," I said. He smiled. The elevator door opened. Maya stood there, in her hoodie and sparkly shoes, holding a picture she'd drawn of me. Big head, tiny legs, holding a pancake. "Mr. H," she said, "I drew you breakfast." That's when I cried. Not the silent, noble tears of the movies, ugly, gasping sobs, because somewhere along the way, a billionaire with nothing to lose had been saved not by shareholders or profits or algorithms, but by two tiny kids who just needed someone to care. A year later, I bought them a telescope. We set it up on the roof of my building. Maya pointed. "That one's Orion," Tyler added. "And that's Sirius, the dog star." Daniel visited once a month. They called him Uncle Danny. No one explained the rest. It wasn't time yet. But someday we will. Because truth, like starlight, always reaches you eventually, even if it takes years. And kindness, once given, never truly disappears. Sometimes a single smile is all it takes to pull someone back into the gravity of being human.